chefo nyina akwaba emamo adwo ediba XTV enyumre no nsia kase so ye da wase papa pass wa fidie no edasoda XTV na wo ba beti enyumre no nsia kase na enna eyoforiso busum na ne da toso edubakon ewa afimpiemieni edunimienu no emo nsem a ekoso ewo yema muni amahudo so nsem ena maboabo ne nyina no amede bro se enyumre no nsia kase abra agudie mu nsem so eka ho bia ye de ebrewo na kase boy ne di makote bia wo beti ene se wo penye wono ene communication officer e the National Democratic Congress endi samanyuko no sami jemfi wo de atudwa se Professor Mauto waka sembi na de work any say e dan no wo mapenya be de chire haji Dr. Mamudu Baumia asem wo kan ye efa yesika sem ho no Professor echemu se emu da ho na so sami jefi se enye nokra nsem wo keke nyina eye ntro ni konto ponkua emu chemu obete e wokase eso na ewo nsem fufuru mo nso no wo bete se eka ne osofo wo no na hwe yesika sem so eyopeni set tekpe wodi atudwa echiremu sem se aban we bo ne homodin no gi 11 se den kra na eyade a yebekwa ahunyenye mu ewo maiga na muje nti a wo kan sanso eno so obete ewo kase eso nsem bi kan we hu na mede bro se enyumre no nsia kase abrame Obaapa Mavis Akosua Atteh medi kase ebrewo mametwa me ho se ma me ba medi kase boi de wo makasa edebebro nyina akwaba ediba XTV enyumre no nsia kase boy efrin krampo ne mantemu dia pokwasi festos adum plaza building mo ene ye share sanso sa obehu me live ewa barefoot intercession so dia Facebook eye XTVGH na sa okopiem o YouTube an sem nyina ya boni na bede wo honoma obenya bi ahwe akenkan na wo so wetimi ahwe manaso afoforo so eno eye YouTube eye XTV Ghana na me hye nsem na se de da no ye wada no mampenya be de chire haji Dr. Mamudu Baumia ekopie mu ewo Akosua test konfo eye esukufo a womo ewo tertiary konom woni womo a trese womo krabata eye NPP amanyuko no oni womo ewo kasai no mo kasai no wo chirechire mu se na bo man yesikasam no se na esefa etie se na man na kasampo yesikasam ne niam ahodo a ekoso wo man mu no oboni nyina ho komo ede emayem na nsem na wode betu dwa no e kame se edom kuma no anye omo de omo chim se nsem okokan nyina no eye nsem a yenum dida eye nsem ya subu ahodo ene wode bo eye endi samanyuko no se womo eneji aka ede to ho ede ma womo NPP for na so NDC for echim sem se wontimi wade tu ya me fa hye wo kechire na enomo ene danom memeda okopie mo ewo ye sister station ba ko ye TV3 omudwuma gudie ba ko ayi a womo edie eye key point na enomo ena wo pene sami jemfi ekopie mo sanso ena Professor Mauto wono so ekopie mo ewo ho no ma wo chim se nsem a Dr. Mamudu Baumia kan da no de ne muda ho emuda ho pa nsem se na o man no tie no sa pepepe hu komo ene ehu kontebuo ena wotime bu ede magana fo nyina na nso sami jefu se enye sakra enetie nsem okeke nyina eye nkontopo eye ntro chese inada nsem nkria ena wokọ keka ye yenko ne kohwe sami jemfini sem wode etudwa.
I don't know where he's getting that from. No NDC leader has held a lecture to compare any records based on statistical averages. The vice president holds a lecture and says that the economy today is far better than it was in 2016, and even seeks to blame our current economic woes on the XY region. And if we come out to rebut that with facts, you say that we are guilty of the same thing. So what should we do? If Dr. Baumia is lying about the unemployment rate, we should accept it. If we debunk that, we are engaging in comparisons. If you say that Ghanaians are not interested in comparisons, then you should be bold to call out Dr. Baumia for engaging in comparisons. Not those of us who are pointing out to Dr. Baumia and the good people of this country that what this man is telling you is not borne out by the facts. Then he says that we don't do research. Yes, research is important, but you see, it is far-fetched from the economic malice we have on our hands today and what we are discussing today. We are not in this problem we are today because of lack of research. It is because of indiscipline. It is because of recklessness. It is because of excessive borrowing, and he knows that. And that is why he said that government must try and cut down on expenditure and all that. All the solutions he gave. If Professor Mauto has been in this country from 2017 till now, is he saying that he has not heard our ranking member for finance, Honorable Atteh Forsen, raise these issues, propose these alternatives? Didn't he listen to his address at UPSA, his own institution, where we told this government that you are headed into the ditch, cut down on expenditure, cut down on the reckless borrowing. We started ringing this alarm bell in 2017. President Mahama has been talking about it. Adongo has been talking about it. Atteh Forsen has been talking about it. Atteh has been talking about it. I have been talking. All our communicators, we've been talking about that. And after they didn't listen to us, spent recklessly, borrowed recklessly, and have now plunged this country into a bottomless pit, you come and tell the opposition that you have not given them alternatives. What alternatives do you expect us to give again? Is managing an economy rocket science? Even a first-year economics student knows that the only way out of the economic quagmire we find ourselves in is financial discipline. Reduce the borrowing and reduce the expenditure. You haven't heard the opposition say that? Please, we have that. I don't know where he's getting that from. No NDC.
No, Sami Jemfi, wono, and your communication officer, Edima, NDC. Jobodo, Chinye, Amanyuko, no, and Oponi Siciano. Nametwaka Siano Sudia, Ekane or Swap for no. And the tree sick as some so a union say tekbe, or no so at the atujan which you must say was see. A woman say e levy, ye see a begia to me a jab to muddy, now so one of the won't jing this say. A revenue target, ya dear no etimi ediatoso, 100 billion no, yensa a bit me account, which you must say, a yade yensa a bit me account. Yenina yenim say e levy, in penny for their barber to just say, when you move so, send a bay a gun and ni beera, a bit me etia a tour, na etimi abuamo mino, etimi akoni nim 9.2 nyuma hudwa, yenina ye hiano yensa etimi account. Normally to ja HM says so be beera bon humodin, near etimi tia e levy. Eba beboa masika botra ye benya womuno eye 6.9 billion Ghana cedis eno ene sika ye betimi enya edi efrimom na no mo eno mo kyeremu says wo mo de 6.9 billion no edi koka Ghana 2022 ye target revenue target eto ahodo ye beji enyumenko akwa akra nyina ye kabo ma na kyese wo mo hwe enim say ye betimi age eye 100 billion a kyese eno no e betimi akọ enim asin eye 2021 afimpimie ni edunu baako abra yetimi agi eye 72 billion no wo mu hrem sese e levy beka ho a ebema ye revenue target no etimi akọ enim akwakodru eye 100 billion na eno ena se tekpe hrem se ewom se aban no etimi aka ne se de no no de wosusu se e levy omude aba besue Ghana fo nyina esui enya de betimi aba beboa ama so mu target a wo mu ehwe enim no wo mu nsa ebetimi aka wo chem sem sabanu de nani be kire bebe fufuro kwan obefa so na wetimi agi ade agi etuo na wetimi abo wo man no mo man no wetimi akọ nanim dia won pe kwan fufuro so na e levy de enya de betimi abo ama wo mu ni so ade hu so benya 100 billion ewo afiyiye mo no ebetimi abemo na enu achi eye opani se tekpe wasanso editu dwa se eda no wo boni hu modin ehweye omampani abediekyire ahaji Dr. Mamudu Baumia abra wo kopie mu a wo kasa wo bu nkota edi amagana fo nyina ekyerkyere ye pempenso na afenso ne se na wo man no esefatie eba na esika semo wo dre ho ahwe na na wo hu se debi wo mampani abediekyire ahaji Dr. Mamudu Baumia eyade we feli we di chopoto niam nkasa wo man mu no ohaw nya titi a ye nam wo man mu no e kame an say ahaji Dr. Mamudu Baumia wonim de ekoso enti de wokaka nyina no eyade a we feli poto ye nkone kohwe se na onunyam ni se tekbe wodi sansemium what me edit to dra edit centreful.
The Vice President has failed to address the fundamental question facing the economy. And these comparisons between the NDC and the MPP are only repetitive. We've heard the Vice President has failed to address the fundamental question facing the economy. And these comparisons between the NDC and the MPP are only repetitive. We've heard all of them, already, 17 taxes and others. I'll prefer that later we can look at them. But the fundamental thing facing us is that the vice president is the chairman of the economic management team. The budget was presented, the markets were not convinced. Those who will give finance our deficit were not convinced. Either before or short while after, we had downgrades, significance, and we barely survived Moody's, with a negative but still just not going. C means we are entering into junk territory. Then the Ukraine war started 1 month ago, let me remind you, right? Yeah. But before 1 month ago, we had a downgrade. Before 1 month ago, the budget had been presented, and the markets were not convinced. 2, the Minister for Finance made a statement that was to convince Ghanaians and the markets, that they had the wherewithal to change course. Then His Excellency the President presented SONA. In all this, the markets are still not convinced. You will agree with me. Ghanaians are not convinced. Or let's say the majority of Ghanaians are not convinced because petrol prices and others, So the fundamental question from the chairman of the economic management team is, what else? Didn't the president, what else didn't the Minister for Finance present to the nation? Okay. You can tell me the one new thing, which is different from what, they have said, which the vice president has said. To that extent, it's an anti-crime.
So, Nepal was Wakasa says, yeah, I can't swap for one, not a shade, sick as some so, or you say, Tekpe. Now, he levy who same year more. A year, Ghana Revenue Authority, one more and never share. When waiting me, Ajiji said to Inina, at me a day, Ama Abino, Saintino, head of domestic tax revenue units, our Ghana Revenue Authority, a your penny Victor Yao, a Congo, one non son, at the Ababa Tuja SM. What was a church in Simbimo, Adima Ghana for, Nagana Fiatiminia, who entiasie, was he say beer. Uwo hwe na uyuso eyesim mienu ana empty ni nyina ye empty ana kwese e Vodafone na opesa wo send sika no e de fi osim ba koso e de ko osim fufuro so a account ni nyina ye wankasa wo dia enya dia sa e-levy e betimi account na mo no say bia wo ye adwuma na adwuma nso ye nim say ye adwuma ye wo kwan ahodo a yetimi editua aketua ana kwese yetimi editua adwuma yefo ka na bia say bia won betua wo ka ebi wo ho a on betua oka e de fa bank eno e betel ebi nso de e tabletop en de se ye discan egu ho na ya fra na wa be sign na ye do sika hye wonsa eno de enya de asa e-levy e betimi account ebi wo ho so a na mo pani ni pese wo send mo sika no e de gu mo phone so e ye mobile money e de mamu a eno no wo si ni nyina no e ya de a sa e-levy e betimi account ye nkone ko hwese no pani Victor e cheche nsem emu
superiors to look at it.
Okay.
For now, the law seems to have captured everybody. Disbursements from corporate mobile accounts. In fact, for the banks, the disbursement from corporate accounts was not mentioned. So it's clear that that is exempt. But in the Momo, there was no distinction between the corporate Momo account and individual Momo account. So that is where we've received some kind of feedback from the public that would affect salaries, loan disbursement, I mean, so many other things which we've referred to the ministry. So I believe some kind of answer will come out of that.
So no, and opening no wait me at church mo ede ama yam dite say we hu so you so mienu na opese osika no udi free osim ba akoso ede ko foforo so a ende ye ntew eno ane say account no eye wodia na mu no say bia wo boss e pese etua wo kan na opese odi fa eye wo phone so de ma wodia ende e-levy no e ade benya wo papa wa church mo nti wo se emrepem no wo mbekoso no ma church Ghana fo yetimi enya ye ho ntiase kwan e befa so a e-levy so obibia betimi etua na yetimi dia ye oman no eyi na mejina sa e-levy sensemi so na meto nsam no so dia ye kwakopie mu ewo apie mante mu asesawa ne ne mpatam bra no bia ye frɛ ho akohia eno e wasese wa mensin no emo na madam bia ne dindi Doris wabone homodin papa wakwakoma eye adihye wo honum no wakwakoye omu adoye kese ahyese ebi ensida na ne nyina ene se abrante bia ne dindi party we woye abrante bia Facebook ena wono so edi ne kwe e wo honum na group na wo mu ewo mu no eye tell it all na tell it all en wode ekoto mu se oh mekura bia se adihye wo honum no wo mu hia nyama bebre na no ena ka Doris akoma mani bo ne homodin na eda no wosesa eye adoctor fuekukudam ediko pie mo ewo akohia honoma me no kase mu ko bom humodi free screen papa eno mutimi okoye edima wo mo adoctor fo a eba no eni ho yaresa wo mo dimu kinkima pam afensu nutritionist wo mo eko hobby mental health officers wo mo eko hobby sanso ena lab technicians wo mo eko hobby ni adoctor fuekukudam ahodo na ena omutimi eko ho ne no se ye hwe wapomudin mu ne ye hwe ne ehu se oyade we ene wo ho a no mabɔ homodin na masanso ama wonu free se kona konom na ababai bɔ ne homodin ekofifa a doctor for omune de pam e de free eye asesawa government hospital ho e de kopie mu e wakohia ho no ma wokoye omo adoya etise ni diem wo hwe emrantie na mama mofra empelifo a kyese wo mo agi ayarehwe wo ho no ma na kyese wo mo ni agi ye papa na de eye de kase pa e wo mo enisem wo mo kopie mu wo ho no na ebinum wo ho no ma national health insurance card no mu ni bi Doris e bo ne homodin oni na busua kopie mu wo ho no omo bo mo homodin e hwe yese wo na wo mu ni card e bi no wo mo ye bi e ma wo mo wo na wo mo card na ewu nsu no wo renew ni nyina etimi e de ma wo mo na wa ma na so ho no ma wasanso e bo ne homodin ende entade ne mpobo a wodi ekopie mu e wo ho no enye ebinye eni de wodi ko sinsen ho wosi we de nantimu na yiwudie sa pepepe e na mafo e bom homodin ekopie mu e wo ho no ma obia sa wo screen so a se na mafo bi ntade ye feyi ankasam e na omutimi enya ya se ye ni gisem kase pa e de ma adehia wo akohia ho no ma no e wo asesawa ne mpetema womudi asida pese pa etime edema eye Mami Doris na Mami Doris ene central kasa ye kire yesem we adoye we awaye wo mane so hanu ma obebo no humodin ahwese mantem makomakudu nsia na akanyina no wobema na doye nso etimi aso afoforo a womo ewo hobi na womo so a womo hia emoa no womo sa etimi aso be eso na mefa kase no ko wiemu ewo ensem foforo mo nkra baba to ye prono e kire mu a na je se ababa bi a wono wo ye maid a wo ye adwuma ede ma eye ni madam na ekowie ye se wakwa akowia ni madam ni panties mako dunson wakwa akowia na ebinumu e kire social media yo ena ne nam so a amanfu ehwebi na woyenso ye ni kobo bi so a ye de ebrewo na wohwe panties draws mako dunson ena wetimi awia a wahye dunson ni nyina e de ahye no ho ebinumu kiremu se ohia na akye na wopese wokoton eye draws ye ebi nso kiremu se debi wode kwa akoye ni madam ni juju na chese ye boy homodin se ye nsa betimi akafoni na wo akasa wudi weni etimi ahwebi se na babai ehye panties ye chese wo mu ero ni nyina mako dunson edi efri ne ho na ye se enimguase se wo pe bibie wi a draws ena wo kwa akowia akwa ya rehosema abefo tintankese no so eye social media edinsem beba papa sa won ko ho ye won bomodin na ko honum ne ma koso ankasa wo honum a chese enye asem komenta baba no ena ona mo screen no so a chese wakowia ni madam panties mako dunson wa hye ni nyina de abom ni madam hu no ena wetimi edwa ni naked pa we panties ni nyina draws ni nyina etimi ediefi no obi antimi antwe ndi enti a wetimi awia panties no na mo no social media fo ya echemu say wodi kwa koye ni madam ni juju ebisi da bi enye sa ne mo ohia na achi na wo pe pants na akwa koton akwa kodnye sika na menjira ni nsemu eso na nanyumri kase amede bre wo sanyumri no nsia kase no memfa won fesi a meda wasekase pa sa wonya bre nya daje na wo hwe X news na wona omo share me e wo Facebook no aseda kese pa enko enfama mo na memfa seda enfama me cameraman DJ YX wono ene jina camera na chi edi maame Bismarck nso ene twa me edi tu mu jodi de ekoso e wagudie mu nsem ebre ye nso eye Mike Ofori Atteh wono nso ene di de ekoso edi bre me producers ekukudam ene omu time che executive producer eye Brasami and our face no boss lady in chaka se pan confirm o me am making kandi mo won so eye Obaapa Mavis Akosua tem dase e mo mu eni hwe